encourage movement. That's how
You're going to that's nothing to do with the tubes and
nothing to do with the skeleton.
Yeah, see, no, we're not doing biology.
Mnemonics and acronyms.
What happened to Henry VIII's last wife? Did she die, or did she not die? Divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded.
Do you know that the only king that has got a moustache is... No. The only king that hasn't got a moustache is the King of Hearts on the playing cards.
What's the record you can play?
I want to resurrect the career of a different artist each week. This is an artist who's overlooked by the general public.
It's a red card.
This is Amy Mann, and she always seems to get overlooked. This was a single a while back. I think it's called Red Vines. Play it, Carl.
Fantastic.
You see, what upsets me is the way that Amy Mann, she's written songs as good as that, she's released it as a single, she had to, I think, put the album from which that's taken out by herself over the internet. She was Oscar nominated for the songs in the film Magnolia. She couldn't get a record label, I don't know if she's now got one. And yet there's people like Alanis Morissette shifting shed loads of songs. I don't understand what the rules are. I don't know why she's not a household name.
Well, there's beautiful things like that in the world. Why do you care about epoxy GCSE?
What did she get for history?
What did she get for history?
Yeah.
I think she did very poorly.
Why do you care? See, I was just going to say, this has backfired a little bit, because Carl is genuinely, I don't know if he's actually upset or embarrassed, but it doesn't matter. Why does it matter? You were 15 and didn't go to school.
If you were my friends, I think you would have just said, oh, we can't find them.
Why?
Because
but you just wanted to know.
What to do with that?
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's ridiculous. Do it again because you want to learn, because there's great things in the world to learn about. Don't worry. Look, GCSE is vocational. Is vocationally for a 15, 16-year-old to go on to do A levels or whatever, or to get results. But you don't need that because you've done very well. You don't care about the Tudors and the Stuarts. I mean, you know.
I mean, I've had a couple of jobs, not this one, because you don't need qualifications to get a job.
Obviously.
Yeah.
In the radio.
Yeah. Obviously.
Absolutely right.
The ones that I have got in the past, I did, because I didn't collect them, I had to lie. And I didn't like go mad. I didn't say I had A's and stuff. But I didn't put history down because I didn't even know I did it.
So it's a bonus.
I kind of treated myself to like a D and a couple of C's and that. So it's like, well, he's not.
I love the fact that Carl even then was honourable. It's like, I'll at least put down the ones I think I took and lie, but the ones I didn't take, I won't lie about.
Yeah, and don't give yourself a B. Exactly. If they're going to find out you lied, give yourself a B next time, Carl.
It could backfire, couldn't it? I mean, my brother's a bit mental, and he used to do things like go for jobs and say, oh yeah, I've done this before. Like being a mechanic, and he's never even picked up a spanner. And yet, he'd have the confidence to go and try and fix cars. Well, I'm not that daft, but, God, and he.
Who do you blame for this?
That's just an easy way out. I have to blame myself. Don't I?
What was the teacher like?
Well, there's loads of different ones. I didn't like. I mean, the history teacher. It is my own fault because with her, she was a bit mental, and I used to kind of stop the lesson by saying, "Oh, miss, tell us about your fireplace you've got that is made from a gravestone." Because that's what
that would stop any English teacher in their tracks.
And she loved telling you about it.
Yeah,
it was like, oh,
I learned that from a teacher.
So that's why I didn't know about divorce, head loss, and all that.
Yeah.
Dandruff legs. Horse, head loss, dandruff legs.
Remember now, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. That's all you got to remember.
And what's that?
That's what happened to Henry VIII's various wives. In order.
What does it spell out?
No, it doesn't spell out
anything. You just got to remember the rhythm.
In order in which he married.
Yeah, but it helps. It's like when my mum taught me the alphabet. She taught me as like a song. And like consonant.
E, F, G.
Yeah, consonant. Yeah. No, not like that. Huh. That's how everyone else could do it, and I couldn't do it that way.
What tune did she do it to?
It was A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Dandy Warhols, Get Off on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant.
Hello.
It's 2:05 on the day that Carl, our producer, found out that he had an E in history, GCSE, and nothing else because he didn't actually register. I can't believe he registered for that. I don't know.
I didn't. That's
someone else put you in. They can't have put you in because you were away. They probably said, oh, you know, you didn't register in that. Listen, obviously you feel a little bit melancholy, because it's, you know, it's like you're hearing it for the first time, so it's like you're 16 again. But it was to be expected. But
No,
listen, it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't.
But listen, take it again. Take it again. For your is there a history teacher listening? What's the number? 08700 800 123. They can tell us the syllabus this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, what is it?
08700.
And I've got maths. 08700 800 1234. Mine's more laziness that I couldn't be able to say that last digit.
Yeah.
Really, I've done most of the work.
Let's not. If we get onto your problems, then we're going to be. It's a whole other show.
It doesn't matter really, because like you say, right, I've done all right for myself.
Yeah.
It's that whole thing of like, when you get older, if you find out that your dad's not your dad, it's like, it doesn't matter, he was a dad to me.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So...
Are you saying Mr. Nuttall wasn't your real teacher?
Give out the number again, Rick, what are we after?
08700 800 1234. Is
No
there a
one's
history
gonna want to teach
teacher
me.
out there that may know how we can... Is he too late to register this time?
What's the syllabus this year?
What's the syllabus this year? Do we have to pay for it? And does he want to earn, like, 25 quid cash in hand to give Carl a couple of lessons? I'll stump that up. Take it, yeah? Be great, be fantastic.
They probably won't want to do it though.
We'd
It's that
film
thing,
it.
isn't
It'd be a documentary on choice. Heat magazine be right behind it. There'd be, you know, little clues. We could have a little question and answer, little quizzes. You know what I mean? Be
Rick,
great.
before we play the next record, I've just been looking through the XFM gig guide, and I just want to let you know that at Spitz this evening, Commercial Street E1, doors at 8 o'clock, Gut Bucket are playing. So, no, just a lot of listeners will probably want to know that. So I don't want anyone to miss out on the Gut Bucket gig at Spitz tonight, Commercial Street E1.
That's a good plug for the Gut Bucket boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage.
Now, Steve just played one of the most beautiful records. I mean, so I've got to up the ante here, and I'm gonna play another Jimmy Webb track. I played it off 10 Easy Pieces last week, and I have played this track before, but a different version. You'll know it, obviously better by Glenn Campbell. He wrote a lot of songs for Glenn Campbell, and this is Galveston, and this is absolutely beautiful. Jimmy Webb there, and Galveston. See, and during that, Carl said, "What's this about?" Didn't you? See, things you're interested in. You see, if only you're that inquisitive when the Tudors and Stuarts came up, you'd have a C or a
So
B.
we didn't do Stuarts.
Didn't you?
It's just Tudors.
Oh, they're the worst, aren't they? Stuarts, I've got a lot of time for. The Tudors can, you know what I mean? Listen, right. As you know, I lent Carl, part of his education is historical education, I lent Carl Gladiator, the movie, on DVD, which he watched on his PlayStation 2, and Rasputin.
Do you know last week when you gave me this, did you know my result for history?
No.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yep. Now, right, okay, it's the film review. Carl, you just tell it from the heart, tell us what you thought about the film, what you thought the...
Can I just ask, is this the first time you'd seen Gladiator? You'd never seen it before?
No.
Okay. And what were your thoughts?
Okay. The film review.
Gladiator.
It's alright. Nothing great. It's like an old, sort of an old version of Rocky done in the olden days, really.
Right.
A bloke fighting other people.
Sure.
How sort of well known is the story? Do you reckon people know the basics?
Well, just very quickly, just do the plot.
Quickly. There's a guy called Max.
Maximus, yeah.
Yeah. There's Caesar, and there's Caesar's kid, and Max goes to war, sort of wins it, comes back. Caesar says, "You're good at what you do. I wish my son was as good as you. So I want you to be in charge when I die." His kid finds out, bit annoyed about it, kills his dad, because he don't want anyone to hear that he said that he wants him to be in charge.
Yeah.
So his kid gets in charge and thinks, "I'll show you. You're not going to be king. I am. You're going to be a slave or something." And then next thing you see is...
Sorry, can I just stop there? My only thought is the film's 3 hours long, so maybe we shouldn't go through the whole plot.
We've done the first 10 minutes. But
Yeah.
go on. So, yeah, he's a slave and then...
Yeah, but then, that was an interesting bit that I thought, right? I mean, I was watching this with a girlfriend. She was already annoyed because she wanted to watch Friends on E4.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. It was a good episode as well this week.
was it?
Yeah.
Don't tell her that.
Okay.
Right, so she was annoyed and she said, come on then, put it on. And I got it wrong straight away because it says on the back 149, so I thought that was an hour and 49 minutes. It turned out it was 149. No, I thought it was 1 hour 49.
Yeah.
But it was 149 minutes.
Sure.
So it overran anyway.
By 40 minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, the interesting bit was where he was going across the desert on a horse. And I think to show you how long he'd been going across the desert on his horse, he's showing you a shot of the horse's knees and they were bleeding. And I just wondered whether that's what horses do if they run for a long time. Do you know?
I don't. Good.
Right, so anyway, so it goes on, it keeps going on like this. He's a slave, and then he has a fight at the end with the Caesar's kid, and he kills him. And that's how it ended.
Okay, good. What did you think of it? Just generally, what bits... What do you think was wrong with it?
Right, well, I've read up on it, and there's already a fact that is wrong.
Right.
Caesar's kid, he didn't actually kill his dad. His dad died of a natural death.
Right. In real life, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's Caesar's kid's name? Comedian or something?
I think it's comedian. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the name comes from. When a funny person is called a comedian.
He didn't actually get killed in real life by Max.
No.
He died by his sister poisoning him, and he didn't die. No.
Are you saying that this is not a historical document?
It's wrong.
All over the place.
Yeah.
Well, next week I'm giving you Braveheart, and that is actually true. That is factually accurate.
I can't handle
it. It is. It was a little Australian fella that helped him out.
Just for people who watched it,
Go
you
on.
know that the guy, Caesar's kid,
Yeah.
he died. His sister tried to poison him. That didn't work. Apparently, he was a gay fella, and his boyfriend, who was a wrestler, strangled him. That's
Where did you get this information?
On the internet. I thought I'd look it up to see how much of it I actually got right,
Yes.
and that's what I read.
Okay, so out of 10?
5.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no good. I wouldn't get it out. And it's annoying the way it says, like, you know, this film's got to be seen at the cinema, because I saw it at home and I don't think I missed out on anything.
Very good point. I think that's probably the point they're making, but yours is valid too. We'll play a record, and after that I'm going to ask you about Rasputin, the Mad Monk. Sing, sing, sing. Travis and Sing. I like that. It's all right. It's a bit easy. It's not their best. I like their earlier stuff a little bit better, you know. But what I don't like is them throwing around mollusks. I don't like it when that poor little octopus gets flung around. I know it's dead, but there's a certain lack of respect for the
whole mollusk community.
For the squid and octopi fraternity.
Like I said to you, when I used to go to Wales for my holidays, they used to get washed up on the beach and people used to go over them on the motorbikes. And they were cheering and stuff, and it's just like, do you realise what you're doing?
Yeah. Sick, isn't it?
But anyway, Gladiator, just was going to add on the end of that. If you're into that sort of film, Jason and the Argonauts is probably a better bet.
Is that factually accurate?
Did you look that up or not? Did skeletons actually come out of the ground and fight?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's a more enjoyable film.
Okay.
And it's shorter.
Okay, now, just moving quickly on, just the last item on Carl's re-education this week. Rasputin, you read a little book about Rasputin?
What did you know about Rasputin before you read the book, Carl?
Can I just tell you, when I handed him this book, it was my house, I said, well, he went, is he the one that lived under the bridge? And I went, what do you mean? He went, the fella that lived under the bridge, and you had to pass him with a, and Jane, went, you're thinking of, Rapunzel. And he went, yeah, and I went, well, that's not Rapunzel either. Rapunzel's, you had to say, isn't that, you had to guess his
The person
name.
who lived under the bridge was the troll in the three little brick graph.
I'm a troll, Foldy well. So, to answer your question, Steve, that's what he knew about Rasputin. Okay?
So have you read this whole book? Can I just have a look at it, Rick?
This whole book, it's about the size of a beer mat.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, but did you read the whole thing?
No.
You didn't
Well, you didn't even do that.
Well, again, some of the names in there are so long and foreign sounding that I just thought, I can't remember all these. So I just got to the meat of the story.
Go on,
What did you learn about Rasputin?
Right. He was a monk.
Yep.
And
mad? Was he a mad monk?
Hang on a minute.
Don't confuse him.
Sorry.
Right.
Go on.
God. You see, this is what happened in the exams. Right, it was.
Oh, don't do that when I'm drinking, Carl. Please, mate.
He loved his women. And that's how the story started off. He had really nice.
The story started off. Yeah.
He had really nice eyes, and that's what everyone fell for, especially the women.
Yeah.
Anyway, the people back then thought he had special powers because he could hypnotise people or something.
Oh yeah.
And it was about a little lad who had some sort of blood clot on his leg, and he said, "Just calm down, and you'll be all right." And people thought he had special powers, but what he was doing, he's saying, "Calm down," and he relaxed, and it stopped the blood flowing sort of as fast, and that's how he got better. But anyway, that's the only bit of special work that he did. And then he kept going on, and he was going in brothels and all that. And the people in the town thought, this isn't right. He shouldn't be going about doing this. And
where did he live?
Russia.
Right.
Is that right?
Yep.
What sort of era?
I thought you'd know.
About 1800.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then.
Do you want to check that, Steve? You got the book?
People got
I know
sick
for a
of
fact that's
him.
not right.
People got sick of him, and they said, "Oh, we'll have to get rid of him." So they tried to. He loved cakes as well as women.
Okay.
So they said, "Let's poison a cake," and they poisoned a load of
Easier than
cakes.
poisoning a woman, wouldn't it?
And he ate these cakes, and it just didn't kill him. And they were like, "God, what's going on?" And they kept giving him more and more cakes, and
he was suspicious.
And that didn't work. So the fella said, "That's it. I'm going to shoot him." So.
Well, I imagine it was the end of his tether.
So
he was back and forth to Mr. Kipling's.
He shot him once, and that didn't work. And the fella thought, "Oh my God!" And he started running away. And Rasputin's running after him, and he shoots him like another. I think he took 4
face
bullets.
full of Battenberg.
Four bullets.
Didn't you swear then?
4 bullets. It took to kill him, and then this fella who was after him chucked him in an icy lake, and that was the end of him. But I don't understand. Sort of.
What don't you understand, Carl?
Well, the fact that, he's a bit of a name in history, and I don't understand why, because it just sounds a bit like my brother.
Does he love women and cakes? And do you think that'll be his downfall?
Right, I want you to study. Right, if you want to do, that's the first introduction. Right, if you want to do some extracurricular,
what would that
stuff, there's a song by Boney M that lays it out.
Suzanne told me about that, saying about Russia's Greatest Love Machine.
Yeah.
But it didn't say anything about cakes.
No.
So I think if you get the 12-inch mix,
they say it, according to Boney M, and I don't know who's correct, the bloke wrote that or M. They put some poison into his wine. Now I don't know if M have done their research or whether they did shoot him until he was dead. According to them, he was the greatest love machine in Russia. I don't think it says that in the book, but M might know more than that fella.
So what's your final verdict on Rasputin?
Just a normal bloke who didn't have that much luck, really. That's what I don't understand. I was waiting for something special at the end, but just a normal fellow, really.
Yeah, just an everyday. Happens all the time, doesn't it?
Just an everyday mad monk.
Yeah, just an everyday mad monk. You have to shoot and poison and throw in icy lakes to kill him, and who loves women and cakes. I mean, come on, do we need another one of them?
Boring.
So what would you say about him then? How would you sum him up?
I think you've done it.
I think you've done it.
There you go.
So next week, Che Guevara, you going to read the book?
I don't know.
Come on.
Next week, Che Guevara. Take it home. There he is.
Give it her then.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Alright, Richard X. The Sugar Babes are freaks electric. Are they, Carl?
Dunno. I feel like it feels like Christmas Day.
What, you didn't get the gift you wanted?
Yeah, do you know that like anticlimax?
Yeah.
When
You've been looking forward to it for so long.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I knew you were looking forward to it. That's why it took you 14 years to get the result, and then it was 2 other people that got them for you.
Do you wish that we hadn't done it?
No. It's alright.
It's alright, isn't it?
What's your girlfriend going to say?
I don't think I'll see her again.
She likes a man who knows about the Tudors and Stuarts, does she?
Yeah, first gladiator, then the...
Yeah, you've been bluffing. Whenever she said, "Where did you go to Studios?" You go, "Good." Like, lots of things, but look, there's a bird.
What happened to Henry VIII's last wife?
Oh, wouldn't... oh, yeah. Oh, look, Friends is on telly.
Friends is on.
No, I just changed the subject by saying things like, you know, about the only king in a pack of cards.
That threw off the scent.
That threw us off the scent.
That wouldn't fool an invigilator, would it? That's the thing. You can't use that one with an exam board.
Carl, have you ever logged on to Friends Reunited? It was the site that everyone was talking about last year.
No.
Are you aware of the concept?
I've heard about it, but there's no one from school who I'd want to see
Hook up
again, really.
So basically, for those that don't know, you have to log on to his website, and then you can it helps you track down your old schoolmates if they've also logged on and stuff. And we took the liberty, really, of looking on the Friends Reunited site and typing in your school and trying to track down any of your old mates. We didn't get in touch with any of them, don't worry.
We didn't do that.
We're not going to surprise you with them now.
No.
But I was just interested to know, like, some of your thoughts on some of the names that I could run past you. I mean, these are people from your year. Just tell me if you recognise the names. Alison Birch?
Think I remember her.
What's your thoughts on her?
Don't
be libelous.
Don't be like no.
No. Posh probably did pretty well in history and that.
Sarah Morris?
God, yeah. Remember her.
Go on. You're grinning. What's the thought? Go on.
No, just she was all right. She was a popular one.
What does that mean?
She was nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about Darren Buckley?
He was one of my best mates.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What do you reckon he's doing now? Do you still keep in touch?
When my mum and dad were still in Manchester and they had a butty shop, he used to go in because the bookies was next door.
I know way paint a picture.
He used to,
if you did this in your history exam, Carl, you will walk it.
Go on. So your parents had a butty shop. There was a bookies next door.
Yeah, and he liked having a bit of a gamble, so he used to. I think he works for some insurance company.
Do you think that his fiancée Beth knows he's got a gambling problem?
Yeah,
or that his 2-year-old son Lewis?
No.
Yeah, they live in Cheadle Home.
Hume.
Hume.
He must be doing well.
He's still supporting the Blue Army and frequents the shrine on a fortnightly basis.
Funny thing with him is, right, when I used to stay over at his house, and his dad was a copper, and I remember his dad came down and said, "Right, I want to see you two." I thought, "Oh God, what's happened?" And got us round the table. He said, "Do you know much about drugs?" So we were like, "What's all this about?" So he goes, "You know, they're not good for anyone. You know, the stupid thing to get into." And we're like, "Yeah, we know." And he went, "You know, do you?" We said, "Yeah." He said, "What's this then?" And he'd found something in his bedroom, and it was a Skittle.
What, the sweet?
Do you know little sweets with the S on it? And
oh, really?
Drugs.
Yeah.
So he said, "Well, yeah, it's a Skittle." Yeah, I know what it is.
He was bluffing like that as a slang word.
Yeah, he thought because he was a copper, he probably had to be down with all the terms and that. So we said, "Oh, it's a Skittle," and he said, "Yeah, I know what it is, but what's it doing in your bedroom?" And it was like, "No, it's a toffee." So Darren there.
Yeah, no, it's a toffee. It's a squib. It's a yeah.
Carl, more people from your past. Debbie Carr.
Yeah, she was another nice one.
What does that mean? Is that a euphemism?
No, she was one of them that you'd sort of go, she's nice, but she'd never be your girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? She was,
not really.
Even though she was in the same year, she seemed a lot older.
Right.
And like,
wasn't a teacher, was it?
There was 3 of them who all hung together, and they seemed to hang around like the older kids, the ones who looked like men. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What did you look like then?
Well, it's just that I had youthful sort of looks, whereas like the older ones had like beards and stuff.
It's the gang of boys in the 5th form with beards. Were they smoking pipes? Come over here, me filly. Oi, Debbie Carr, come over here, you little beauty.
No, she was like...
I love that. Hanging around with beards. There's the big boys. Oh, fishing. Lovely beards. What do you
I just see a whole row of George Bernard Shaws.
How do you do in history, boy? Think on it. You're an idiot. Oh.
They were like, I'd be there sort of punching people in the arm,
That's a great game.
Oh, I love that, punch people in the arm.
Is that part of the Olympics now?
it's I think it was exhibition this year.
Right.
So it's
going to be pro next year.
It's going to be the Winter Olympics because you've got to do it in just a cap sleeve shirt in winter. Yeah.
So you're also playing that?
She, but whilst I
But
was
she didn't
doing
appreciate that. She used to go, ow!
No, I always think whilst I was doing that, they were like the Charlie's Angels, and they'd be sorting out a mission somewhere because they were really like there was something about them that you thought, you know, they're special.
They were private detectives.
What if we work for a man they never see?
Okay, well, here's a name I'm interested in because, well, let me just tell you the name first. Adam Clifton. Oh. Go on, what are your thoughts on Clifton?
He was one of them kids. He was all right, but he had that thing when if you didn't have enough milk, he had like wrinkly hands and white bits in his nails.
Oh,
because he didn't have enough milk.
Yeah.
So therefore, you didn't like him because you didn't get enough milk.
This is not to be confused with the two people with the big heads and the webbed feet, is it?
Webbed hands.
Well, this was
they weren't related. They must have been somewhere along the evolutionary sort of trail. Do you know what I mean? They must have come from the same sort of stock.
But you wouldn't have liked him. He's just one of them people. He was all right, but
before you say any more, on Friends United, you can leave a little message which explains what you've been doing and what your life's like now. And most people leave maybe 2 paragraphs. Right. Adam, I've printed it off. He seems to have printed. I think there's about 6 pages here of stuff. He keeps updating it, and he just basically lists his memories about everyone. Okay, at the school and what he thinks of everyone. And he says, I often see Simon, he's doing all right for himself, self-employed illustrator, Mark Cooper, Carl Pilkington.
Right.
And your name comes up. Now, I don't know if you've told us this story. I think you may have done, but I can't remember the facts about it. It just says, Carl Pilkington, with his pet bird. Was it a magpie? I can't remember. He brought it to school to show everyone, and it flew away.
Oh, God. Oh, no, they do that, don't they?
What was the story there,
You give them seed and they just leave. What do you mean?
Well,
this sounds like Kez.
Well, that's it. I was a big fan of Kez. And it was the time our dog had just died.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any pets, and the cats were always getting run over.
Yeah.
And so we didn't want any more pets.
Yeah.
But there was a magpie that used to fly about on the estate, and I managed to sort of tame it. And in the end,
with a chair and a whip. What do you mean you tamed it?
Well, just used to sort of hang around it and talk.
But how did you get hold of it? Did you catch it?
Well, eventually, yeah, it used to just come to me, and the annoying thing was, it got to a point when I wish I hadn't bothered, because it used to pop me bike tyres. It used to sit on like, if I was talking to my mates and I was on my grifter.
I love the way he just throws things in.
It's like an Alan Bennett play.
It landed on my tyre, and it used to peck at the tyre and pop it, and then it used to then never go away, so it was always like around the house, and my dad said never bring it in. So it used to sit on the porch, and I used to go out, and it used to fly down and land on my head, and it really hurt. It used to like peck and stuff.
He thought it was a tyre.
So it wasn't so much tamed as a stalker.
Oh, God!
So you took it to school and it flew away?
Yeah.
So did you take it in proudly going, look at my magpie, oh!
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I think it got a bit confused in the area that it was in, because I used to just keep it sort of around our estate, but
Sure.
the school was a bit of a distance away.
How did you get it there?
Carrying it on my finger.
Did you walk?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was happy there, and then it got...
But it used to be one of those things that people would stop me in the street and sort of go, oh, what's that?
And I don't suppose
Maggie, called it Maggie.
You didn't get Charlie's Angels to go and find out what happened to it? Investigate?
Were they impressed?
No, not really.
No.
But go on, any...
Carl, let's come back to it, Let's have a hip-hop hooray track. It's the big hip-hop selection from Big Steve Merchant. I don't know what I'm talking about there. Just trying to sound hip. This is Spearhead from many years back. A track, again, I think got largely overlooked at the time, but worth hearing again. People in the Middle. Spearhead, People in the Middle. Michael Franti, surely one of the greatest rappers, I think. He's just, if you've ever heard him bust it live, Rick, he's almost as good as me.
I'm just going to tell the listeners there, Carl is quite a little insecure sort of chap, and he was just worried about that last bit. He was going, who would ever find that interesting? He was worried about people finding him boring. And Steve said, as I said, you know, it's like an Alan Bennett thing. He went, yeah, but you know, no one would care about Alan Bennett if he wasn't such a hit maker. They wouldn't care what he had to say. And we just looked at him for a while, and he went, thinking of Tony Bennett. Bless him.
Listen, it's almost the end of the show, Carl.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really been a Carl special.
This is a Carl special, yeah.
Well, next week,
we'll
we'll lay off
next week. We have to
We're not going to...
He wants to retire a little bit, just...
Well, those old lottery numbers might come up tonight anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, right. What are they again? What's the 4 you've come up with?
Fuck my way now.
What? Come on, well, give us all 6.
No.
Why?
Carl, while you're rummaging for that...
5, 9, 12 and 26.
A few more names that you may recall from Friends Reunited.
Go on.
Lisa Shufflebotham. Do you remember her?
Yeah, she...
Was she one of Charlie's Angels?
No, she wasn't that nice, but she wanted me. her and her mate Rachel, I remember, I don't know why, but it was some sort of PE lesson where it had to be a bloke and 2 girls, and they were fighting over me.
Could you hear what they were saying?
They were just like, I want him, and I was loving it. Stuck in the middle, and they were fighting over me. And then the next week, I thought I'll sit near them.
What sort of game do they play at this school?
I don't know.
That's an incredible game.
But I think
punch me on the arm. No, punch me on the arm, Carl.
They just went through it. Because the following week, I thought, right, I'll sit near them again because I quite enjoyed the way they fighted over me. But then they picked somebody else, and I don't know who I was with that week.
So you didn't get any action with Shufflebotham or a friend?
No. And then as she got older, she went a bit off. She didn't look that good. She's probably nice now. It's just, I mean, I'll say about myself, when you get to sort of the end of secondary school, you do sort of go a bit odd looking.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? When your sort of head grows funny.
I would just love to go back to his school of that era. I mean, just what happened to people where they're, you know, all people sprouting limbs.
No, do you know
and
what I mean?
things.
When you're like 12 and that, you quite, no, not 12. When you're 10, when you're 7 to 10, you sort of look healthy. And you look at your pictures when you go, yeah, I was a good-looking lad. But then when you get to late secondary school, something happens, and you just look a bit odd.
Okay, well, what about Alison Thorpe?
Not sure about her. I sort of know the name, can't put a face to it.
Damien Comer?
Again, know the name.
Yeah.
Can't remember anything.
No.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Well, these are pretty much all the names I could find. We've had some interesting thoughts, though, and interesting anecdotes.
Yeah.
Anyone in particular that you'd like to say hello to that maybe listening now that
No, I think I would have mentioned Darren Buckley if you hadn't have brought him up.
Oh, right.
He was like me buddy.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Magpie game when you took it to the school and confused it?
No.
You're joking. That was the end of it, was it?
Yeah.
So where did it go?
Probably to some other kid. Because, I mean, actually, it probably got killed. Because if it was being that friendly with other people, some people might have took advantage of it.
In what way?
Well, there was a programme on the other week about...
What, in the way that Shufflebotham was trying to take advantage of you?
There was a programme on the other week about bear whisperers.
Yeah.
And some blokes got really friendly with a bear, and then when they were leaving that area where the bear was, they said, oh, we've caused a problem here, because there's some bear hunters coming in and moving into this area, and it's going to get a bullet if it acts like this, so they had to scare it away, and that's what I should have done with Maggie. I should have terrified it a little bit, so it wouldn't trust humans.
Just introduced it to some of your schoolmates, I'm sure would have freaked it right out.
Well, the ones with
maybe that was why it fled.
It didn't see. Oh no, it didn't see those 2 fellas with big heads and webbed hands coming towards it, did it?
That would have terrified anything. It's like a scarecrow, like 2 walking scarecrows. Listen, have we got time for a song for the ladies? What's happening? We've not really thought.
Quick then, quick, just do it. Thanks very much.
Hang on, no, we haven't lined anything up, have we?
I was going to play Mary Lawson and that for you. And then
is this going to be the final track?
It has to be.
It would be, yeah.
We've blown it. We've blown it on the Carl special.
We have indeed.
I'll play it next week. So Carl there's got an E at history in GCSE. Any history teachers, anyone who can help Carl out, I think we should try and register him and take it this June. So what's your homework for this week? You've got to read about Che Guevara, haven't you? The revolutionary leader.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know anything about him at all? Have you got any basis?
I just know that if you want to use his face on your business, it costs a lot of money. Do you know, like, if McDonald's wanted to have him as, like, instead of Ronald McDonald?
How does he do it? Steve, how does he do it, man?
Oh, we listen, just play a final record, Carl. Say goodbye, and we'll see you next week.
Alright.
See you later.
Cheers, mate.
Oh, regret is a terrible thing.
Foo Fighters. All My Life on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, and Carl Pilkington.
Indeed.
Genius Carl Pilkington, as Heat magazine said.
Really? Is that what
Yeah.
he's referred to now?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Genius. Saying about people tune in just to hear his games,
Yeah.
such as Educating Ricky. Have you got some Educating Ricky for me?
Got some education.
I need some education, Carl.
That's
I
kind of like
desperately need some education. I want to learn about Chinese kids that are born hairier than average. I want to hear about deaf girls that can hear after their mum hits their head against a wall. These are the things I need to know.
I mean, I don't wish to be disrespectful. He doesn't look like a genius.
He doesn't look like
But then I
genius.
don't know what a genius looks like.
Exactly.
So,
Steve.
you know, I don't want to be an
look, look at Einstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mum thought he was mental as a child.
Where'd you get that information from?
That was in the Einstein book.
Well, it was in the Einstein book, then it's presumably true.
Which Einstein book is that? Is it Theory of Relativity?
The big book of Einstein stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the big bumper book of Einstein stuff. It's
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
coach
yeah.
trip, and you have to fill in
Yeah.
E equals MC1 squared, 2 fish, or 3 hello, and then it's multiple choice, and you fill it. It's great. It's
Did his mum
brilliant.
think A, he was a genius, B, mental?
Most people go for A, but it is in fact B. She thought he was mental at the age of 28. Oh, Carl, you never let me down. You never let me down. So have you got Educating Ricky for me?
We've got Educating Ricky coming up.
We've got Rockbusters.
We've got Rockbusters.
Great
As seen and talked about in Heat.
In Heat magazine.
It's got really tough this week now. We're not messing about anymore.
Right.
Got some good prizes.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll talk about those later.
Alright.
Because, I mean, was it last week that you had the classic? Was it, I can't remember, I'm paraphrasing, Carl, apologies. Something like, I'm here in Texas, I've fallen in a puddle, and my knee has got wet.
Yeah. Wet Knee Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Also, it was last week when there was a little bit of confusion over the one for Holly Valance.
Of course. I don't think it was confusion, I think it was your error.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
And it
because-
was Holy Valance, and you meant Pelmet.
Then Becky, who called up that time and said, "Oh, if you're getting mistaken with Pelmet, right?" She sent me an email in a week saying, "I've done a bit of research.
Yeah.
It was my fault. I've made an error.
Yeah.
It is a Valance."
Okay.
And I know about Valances, as I told you last week. At the very end, my auntie loves them.
Yeah.
Right? She makes them. She started off just like putting them on top of the sort of window around the curtain. And then she thought, oh, I can do more with this.
Yes.
And she had a little coffee table that had magazines underneath, and she said, I'm sick of seeing them magazines when I'm sat down.
she sounds like a Pilkington.
So,
I'm sick of seeing them magazines when I sit down.
so she put a Valance on the table.
Yeah.
Just got balances around everything now.
Yeah.
Then, next step, she tapes everything. She never actually watches telly. She tapes it all because she gets sick of listening to the adverts and that.
Yeah.
So she tapes everything. So she's got loads of videotapes and that. And the video used to get on her nerves. When she was watching a film, she'd see the clock changing.
Oh.
And it distracted her from the film, so she put a Valance around that.
That's genius.
Yeah.
So,
That is really.
Or is it mental?
Only
Mrs. Einstein can tell
I
us.
don't know. She's even made a little Jack Russell look like a hovercraft.
no, if you
He's
stand still,
great.
that's
So
it.
everything's got a balance.
If you go round and you stand still for too long, the chances are you get
She'll
a
put a
Valance
balance
around your
on.
head.
This is this is Auntie Who,
And Nora,
and this is the one that farted for 5 minutes.
She did.
Lest our listeners forget.
Lest we
farted
forget.
for 5 minutes. Called his mum, saying I'm farting. 2 minutes into the fart.
she said about 2.5 minutes in.
Yeah. Of course.
She said I'm about 2.5 minutes into
Well,
the
my
pot.
mum said, how long's it been going on for? She said, well, it was about 2.5 minutes before I called you.
Yeah.
And then it went on for a further 2.5 minutes or something. And then it stopped. And,
She couldn't type right because there was a balance over the clock.
Yeah, she
Because it used to
couldn't
annoy
type
her when
it,
she was
yeah.
on the phone and you put her off see
So
the time.
she was
guessing it was 5 minutes.
This was one consistent fart.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't making a noise. It was just...
Oh, it wasn't making a noise.
Just gas.
Right, endless gas.
So, there you
That's
go.
fantastic. Well, we started off with a new one, a little bit of Foo Fighters. We like new and old on this show, don't
Indeed,
we?
we like to mix it up.
I'd like to play the Smiths from their debut album, I Don't Owe You Anything. I Don't Owe You Anything. The lads from Carl's hometown there.
Indeed.
The Smiths. Brilliant, that one. Wow, I went to Manchester, didn't I, the other day? Went up to Manchester for a
What did
little
you make of
corporate. It was alright.
Yeah.
He went, wait till you get out. You see Piccadilly, it's better than Euston.
Right.
It was. You know, it was nicer. I went outside and there was a ridiculous queue, and sort of one cab.
Right, yeah.
So,
Horse-drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I walked, and it was okay. It was only down the road. It was a bit dark. It was wet and raining. of
Obviously,
course.
it's the north.
I know, yeah. The hotel was very nice, but no minibar. I've never seen that before. I've travelled all over the world seeing them in a hotel without a minibar.
No,
So I
I've
don't
never
know what's
heard of
going on then. I don't know what's going on there. And then I did this corporate gig in Old Trafford. The pitch was up, don't know what they were doing, but, you know, very impressive. Big impressive. I think they're the richest football club, aren't they, Carl?
Yeah.
You did a gig at where?
Old Trafford. It was in a function room.
Oh,
there
well, I
for
thought it was
a-
the stadium.
No,
Incredible.
I'm not that big yet.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, you know, I can't really comment on Manchester. I do know that Liverpool was voted most important music city via poll.
True enough.
Carl, you're making noises while I'm talking.
Yeah, but you do this all the time trying to wind me up. And I'm not saying Manchester's the best place in the world, but what I'm saying is there's bits of it that I really miss.
Yeah.
Like last Sunday, right? When I'd met up with Ricky, we had spaghetti bolognese, which was all right. And then I said to her, I need some soil.
Damn, I wish you'd invited me. It sounds amazing.
So I need some soil. What do you think?
You need some what? Soil?
Soil, yeah.
I need to repot a plant, right?
Yeah.
So
You need to repot a plant?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
So I'm like, where you can't see these shops in London. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing around.
I took him straight to one in my street.
Yeah, but near your street, and that's probably the only one in London.
Well, you say that, Carl.
No, it does annoy me. Round my way, it's like, you know...
You can't move for soil shops.
You can't. There's earth. You can just pick up handfuls walking down the street.
Yeah, incredible.
Which
People
is-
just lean over into someone's front garden. You
Yeah.
can take the plants as
Yeah.
well.
No,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is,
Go on.
Manchester, there's loads of decent hardware shops.
Yeah.
Here, you know, if you want a panini and a latte or whatever, you can't move from. But for soil, I had to go virtually how many miles away from me to carry that soil home and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not good. I mean, London's all right, but if cities were sort of marked,
It's neglecting the peat market, really,
Well,
isn't
there's barely any mulch available Rick, in central London.
I'm sick and tired of not getting a good decent compost of a Sunday.
Indeed.
So,
It's sick
you
and
know,
smooth.
I'm thinking of moving to the north, where there is loads of soil and gravel
Indeed.
and animal shite.
whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, you were going to say if you're marking cities out of 10, what would you give London?
Well, if you were marking them on, like, you know, on what they have,
Right.
as opposed to what?
well, as opposed to...
How you
name.
spell it?
Say, like, I think the greatest city in the world is Rome. Right,
Okay.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Have you been?
What? Yeah. Why do you think that though?
Just because, like, you turn a corner and there's something there that's really old. Right? Like, you're going down Normal Street.
Go and stay in a Derby and Joan club.
Yeah.
No, but it's like you're going down the road and then you turn a corner and like the Colosseum's in the middle of a busy road. It's like, what's that doing there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just when you think there's no more, you turn another corner.
It's almost as if that was there first.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? London,
Yeah.
what have we got? You know, Trafalgar Square's world known. You go there, what's there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of space there. Get one big B&Q
In Trafalgar Square.
to cater for the whole of people who live sort of central Londonish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'd be happy. But what I'm saying
But with
is,
Nelson just popping up through the middle, because you can still see it, couldn't you?
Yeah. It's a great idea.
B&Q, so B&Q could be like the whole sort of flat thing and make it sort of grey so it looked like rock, and then Nelson popping
Make it
up.
classy is what you're saying.
Yeah, stone clad it,
Yeah.
so it looks like you've made an effort.
Exactly.
And then you can pop in, and then you can go out and go, oh look, Nelson's column. Oh look at that, isn't Nelson? Oh look at that, the victory, defeat. That's fantastic. One of the greatest living.
Yeah.
I need some nails.
Yeah. Perfect. Killing two birds with one stone, you say?
but why isn't there more than them shops? Because when I went into yours, every time I've been in there twice now. The first time was to get a shower head, right?
Right.
And I went in there, couldn't resist buying something else. I ended up getting some super glue as well.
Blimey. Hey, big spender.
And then last Sunday we went in there, got 2 bags of soil, not one, I bought 2,
Yeah.
and I bought some scissors to cut plants with.
Secateurs.
Well,
Scissors.
you never know when you want, you might need more soil, I suppose.
Well, I've got
You've
2.
stocked out now. Where'd you keep it under your bed?
Sorry, this isn't going out, is it? This conversation. It's not going out on air.
I got a feeling it might be.
You're joking. We better play a record.
Okay.
Play a classic. I hate to say I told you so on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, obviously, with me, Steve Merchant, and Carl Genius Pilkington.
Absolutely. I was watching a bit of TV.
Carl the Brain Pilkington.
The brains. I was watching a bit of TV last night, Rick.
Go on.
And I had a little
Children
thought...
Need?
No, well, I didn't watch Children Need.
No, you
I
missed a
was watching
treat.
something. I think it was last night. It was a bit earlier. I had a little thought for lads that might be out tonight, you know, on the Raz.
Yeah.
Maybe they get a little bit of success with the ladies.
Yeah.
This was something that struck me as I was watching it. A lot of gentlemen, you know, when they're engaged in, you know, an act of, you know, relations with a lady, they like to sort of, you know, think of an image or something that will prevent them from, you know, and you catch my drift. We're men of the world.
Grandmother's funeral is the cliche, isn't it?
Exactly. And I'll tell you what I think it should be. Rick Waller jogging. I was watching Fit Club. I have never seen anything
I
like
liked it
it,
when
Rick.
Harvey lost it with him.
Oh, man alive. I mean, I know I slag him off, but I don't really like him either. I just think he comes across appallingly. And I think, you know...
When he just walked away in that mid-conversation talking to that bloke, they're doing it for his
I
good,
know,
really.
but he's like 31 stone?
I think he lost a bit. I think he's 29 now. Don't exaggerate, Steve. You make him sound like a fat.
But you know, I mean, yeah.
That was close, wasn't it?
When having sex, you know, apparently thinking of Rick Waller helps.
Oh, don't look what's happened.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the reverse effect.
Yeah.
Oh, no, me and
No,
Carl.
if you're with a lady, apparently
Yeah.
that works.
I know, he's out now, isn't he? He's out.
Did he walk out?
I think so. I think that's it, from what I can...
No, I think next week they kick him out, because I read something about they get rid of him next week because of his attitude, and first time I read it I thought he'd actually ate someone's hat. But it was...
You lost me.
Got rid of him because of the attitude. Oh,
Everything you think of now is puns. You can't get puns out of your head, can you?
Oh, Carl, you're great. Look at his little face.
He's so good.
That
How
is
long have you been
good.
working on that? How long
You've
have you been
got to
working on
you've got to give him that. That
No,
was
that
a
is-
real
no,
joke.
it is
Look at
genius.
his face. He knew it was funny. It was meant to be funny. He said it to be funny, and it was. Well done. Well done.
I'm just interested, I just want to dissect it, because it was brilliant, and I'm wondering, how long have you been working on it?
About 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff, it was worth the wait.
I got it now.
Oh, well
The
done.
attitude.
Well, I don't think... there's only one band that can top that. Another band from Manchester. Oasis.
Oh.
Vines. Ms. Jackson on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. Right. Getting towards that time where Carl really kicks into action. We've got the quiz. We've got Rockbusters. The quiz that's a bit like Blockbusters, but mainly around music. Yeah, and a pun. A scenario.
Yeah.
Based in wordplay by Carl. You know how good he is at that.
Can I tell you what the prizes are this week, because they're worth playing for?
Please do.
Okay, we got on DVD the Manic Street Preacher's Greatest Hits on DVD. The videos, I'm assuming. The film Human Traffic, it's a remix DVD version of that. I think we were giving this away last week. You've obviously got a bulk stock of these. Groove Armada's Love Box, an album from them. The best air guitar album in the world ever. That's got the likes of Queen, Adams, Palmer, Leopard, Idol.
Aerosmith.
I don't see
I think
it.
the Smiths should be on there.
We got Purple, Wolf, Cooper, Top, Quo, and Back, Nickelback. Now there was another one around actually. I seem to have lost one of the puns. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is you might have seen this advertised on TV. The Best Bands Ever album, and just imagine who this is aimed at. It's got Oasis on there, Nickelback, Coldplay, the Dandy Warhols, Bohemian Like You, in brackets as featured in the Vodafone TV ads. Then it's got Smash Mouth, Walking on the Sun, as featured in the Ford Fiesta TV ads.
It's for people who didn't know they liked indie.
Exactly.
They go, I don't like indie, but you do. Do you like this advert? Yeah.
I
Do
love
you like
it.
this advert? Yeah. Well, you like indie then? I do. I love indie.
Can't believe it.
That's great.
Yeah. The Mock Turtles, Can You Dig It? As featured in the Vodafone TV ads.
I really like indie.
Do you love the T-Mobile TV ad?
Yeah.
You'll love this. It's got Royce Cup on there, which is featured in there. So that's an album for people who don't like music.
That's great. That's
And I'll
coming
tell
up,
you what,
Blockbusters.
but I also have a movie, because you know last week I gave away Executive Decision.
Yeah.
That was on TV last night. So
Yes.
you didn't receive my copy.
But they probably watched it before it was on TV.
Yeah.
A few days
I was
before.
clearing out, Rick,
Yeah.
last night. I found another one which might be just to entice people.
Go on. What is it?
Coming right at you.
It's coming out the bag.
The Pelican Brief.
Oh.
Another arbitrary film choice on VHS. Pelican Brief. Roberts, Washington. You know,
Get it now on VHS before there are no more VHSs
It
around.
was $6.99. I'm giving that away as
That's
well.
great,
Pelican
and that's
Brief.
his personal collection.
That's from my personal collection.
Did you see that picture Carl
I
bought
don't
in?
think it's even rewound from when I watched it.
Really?
No, it's not. You can rewind that yourself.
Brilliant. That's a little touch of Steve Merchant there.
exactly.
Did you see that picture that he brought in?
I have actually. Can I see it again, Carl? Yeah, it's just a picture. You carry it with you, do you? In your wallet all the time?
He found it, right?
Last week I was sorting it because I'm moving. I'm sorting all my files out and that, and because this is the only school picture.
He
I've
had
got.
one school picture taken when he was was that 10 in 1981?
I was about eight.
No. Okay, tell the story. Why is that the only school picture you had taken?
Just because, no, I had them all, I was always had them taken, right? But my dad thought they were overpriced for what you get. Because really, he said that like, the whole idea of a good picture is like, not only the person that's in it, but like the surroundings.
Yeah.
So like, if you're on holiday, he'll look at me and he'll go, oh yeah, you're looking well there. What's that hill in the background? Or something like that. Whereas with
That's Rick Waller, catching up.
yeah.
But all you get on these school pictures is like a blue background, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm not paying for that.
Sure.
And it was a big one. You get a bigger one than that, but that's just like a little passport size, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That was £1.60. and he wasn't really happy paying that because he said you could get like some done from True Print for a lot
That
cheaper.
he could take himself.
Yeah.
So,
And so did he tell you at the time that was the last time he was paying for a school
He
picture?
said, I'll get you one because it's good to have a picture of you at school.
Yeah.
Because they hardly ever went and all that. So he said, like...
What's that in the background? That's my school dad. Oh, I
don't recognise it. You got any interesting stories about it? Not really.
So, I was a good-looking kid there, wasn't I?
What are you doing with your mouth, though, Carl? It looks like you're sort of... It looks like a bit like you're a ventriloquist dummy.
What do you mean?
Well, it looks like you're sort of scrunching your mouth up, or pursing your lips or something. Do you not think? I mean, now you've got, dare I say it, very kissable lips. But in here, look how thin they are. Look at those little thin lips. It's like you...
I'm smiling.
That's a smile?
Oh, that's what I didn't recognise that
No, I
either.
didn't realise that was a smile.
it's
I
a
never
smile. Is that what you look like when you smile?
Oh.
Oh,
what's happening with the head?
Had your
Obviously-
dad seen you smile before then?
Well, I think that's why he wanted to buy one as well. That's like, so he can remember what it was like.
Right.
'Cause I don't smile.
When did you stop smiling? When was the last time you had fun and you just like happy-go-lucky? When can you remember when you had no weight of the world on your shoulders?
I often think that. Because I don't sleep like I did, like when I was a kid. I had really good sleeps, and now I don't.
Right.
So I think...
But you've got a lot of things on your mind. You know, where can I buy soil?
Yeah. How can I confuse a computer by tapping in Y in the search engine?
Probably when I was 14, I was stress-free.
Where?
Yeah.
When was the paper round?
Probably when I was 15.
Right. That's when it started, was it?
I reckon. That's when I started getting stressed.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the haircut you've got in the... Because obviously I've not seen you before with hair, and it's an interesting mop. Do you have that down at Barbara's?
No, my mum used to do it.
Yeah, she got that?
age, yeah.
Right,
She used to, what she used to do, you can't see it in that picture, but there was one where she did bit of a mess of it. I mean, it looks quite...
I can't tell from this picture.
No, but that's one of the better ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right. Were you bullied much?
On one of them, she used to like use a bit of newspaper in front of my eyes, so she didn't like stick these scissors in my eyes.
So newspaper stops scissors every time.
Yeah, because I think they use that for bulletproof vests.
Yeah, the tough fabric of a reconstituted newspaper will stop the scissor any time.
No, definitely. I remember, because I know a lot of UN guys when they're on patrol, they use some old copies of The Sun.
They put it in their pocket.
Yeah, the Daily Star.
Sorry, yeah, okay, yeah.
So she used to always be on a Sunday night when like Songs of Praise is on or something. Nothing was on the telly just before Last of the Summer Wine or something. And she used to get the.
What a depressing time that was.
It was.
Having your hair cut and listening to Songs of Praise, waiting for Last Summer Wine.
Yeah.
I always used to get depressed on Sunday nights.
Well, I'll tell you
and it wasn't because school was the next morning, it was because the telly was so shite.
I think it was because school was next morning, because Antiques Roadshow still does that for me. I see the Antiques Roadshow, I love it, but I'm just thinking I've got to go to school or work tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Roadshow, I wish they put it on the week.
But I know, I've never really had that. When I worked, I suppose. I work now. Don't know. No. Oh, what
Not
giveaway. What giveaway.
Sorry, you were telling us a story about...
So anyway, so she'd get the newspaper, right, and she'd stick it in front of my eyes, and
What does that say? Go on.
so she'd
You inherited a lot from your mum, didn't you?
So she'd cut me fringe, right?
Yeah.
But then she'd go, oh, it's not straight, it's not very good. So she'd go again, and she'd keep going, and the problem
Is that why you're bald now?
I was going to say, is this that you have got hair, but she has to get it right.
Yeah.
It takes her to the back of your neck to get it even.
She sort of removed the newspaper, and she was like, oh, God. And I said, what? She goes, oh, I'm sorry. And like...
What, did this happen every Sunday?
Can I ask you, Carl, when she was cutting your hair in this picture, do you think she was maybe sidetracked by an interesting article in the paper and really wasn't paying attention to
or
what she was
did her
doing?
favourite hymn come on?
Yeah,
and
indeed.
she started
Or Compo was rolling down the hill.
in a bar.
So yeah, I ended up with like, you know, a fringe sort of on the back of my head because she just kept going further and further.
Sure.
But
When did you start going to that barber that was on the railway station?
that's when I started work. So, you know, sort of 16, 17.
And is he the one that said you have the hair of a Chinaman?
He's the one who's, yeah.
He sounds like a wise man.
Well, can I just stop? I think maybe we should play a tune, but maybe you could bring in some photos next week, Rick, and we can talk about them on the radio.
Yeah, and I'm just going to do a card trick. Right, take a card. Any card, yeah. Right, look at it. Is that your card?
Boy with the arrow strap, Bell and Sebastian. Coming next, Educating Ricky.
You too, Electrical Storm. Steve, am I mental, or have we been playing some great tunes
We've
today?
been playing some great tunes. You're not mental. You're
On
a genius.
XFM, yeah, on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington. Carl Pilkington in the chair now. The talked about, the acclaimed Educating Ricky.
Right, well, just in case anyone's new, doesn't normally listen.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm educating Ricky. Do a bit of research in the week, find stuff, news, history, anything that's interesting. 3 stories, I give them a nice little headline. You take your pick. Between now and 3, you're going to learn 3 things. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, the headlines are, I'll be no buying one of them.
Give us that again.
I'll be no buying one of them.
Nice, okay.
Yeah? We've also got hippopotamus
Okay. Okay.
and can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
Well, I'm
that's
going to
your
go for
choice, Rick.
Hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus?
Yeah.
The news.
Right, well this one, it's I'm not going to take the credit here. I heard Christian talking about this on breakfast, right, because it's a good story that happened. Basically, I don't know if I told you about it last week when we were having our spaghetti, but
I think you did.
Right,
I
this
know
is-
what it is. I know what this is.
Okay, I've not heard this.
right, there's a little midget. Right, there's a
I'm loving
circus,
it already.
circus going on somewhere. I think it was in America. And
Is that present day or old times?
I'm talking like in the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
Right, little midget. Circus, really packed out show, people are loving it.
Right, Steve, you're asked the same question I did, I know.
So there's a little midget jumping up and down on a trampoline.
That's what circus is.
Right?
I pay good money to see it.
So everyone's clapping and he's getting carried away.
Because he can't believe it's like, he can't believe they're loving it. I didn't know they'd like a little person on a trampoline, but they love me.
But you know what it's like when if there's a crowd of people sort of encouraging you to sort of go higher and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he knew it was getting out of hand. But he was jumping and he was coming down the road going, oh yeah, and he's going really high in the air, right? So he's doing this, crowd are clapping. There's a hippo, right, just sat next to the trampoline getting ready to come on and do his act.
Oh, right, I thought he was in the audience.
That's it. Getting ready to do his act, Steve.
So
He's a ventriloquist.
What do you mean he's sitting by the trampoline waiting to do his act?
Because it's
Why does he sit in the dressing room and they go, 5 minutes, Mr. Mus, 5 minutes, Mr. Mus.
So anyway, right, so the hippo's there.
He's getting annoyed because the midget's
He's
eating
going,
into
how
his
can I
tongue.
follow this? How
Yeah.
can I, this is really annoying. They're going to be,
Yeah.
no.
So
He's thinking, he's already done the trampoline, my pogo stick act is never going to work.
Yeah, go on. So there's a hippo waiting. See, it's a great story, and I just know he embellishes it or he gets slightly wrong. Go on.
So
So there's a midget jumping up and down, the hippo's getting annoyed. He
The
wants
crowd
to-
are going mad.
crowd
The
are going
midget's
mental.
loving it. Can't believe his luck. Although you think he probably knows he's dicing with danger.
yeah. So next thing you know, they're all saying higher, higher. He gives it one big, like, heavy sort of landing on the trampoline, goes really high, but goes off at a funny angle.
Oh,
Hypotenuse.
okay.
Yeah. And sort of flies up.
Sure.
Flies off at a funny angle.
Oh, dear.
Hippo's there, swallows him whole. Crowd are clapping, thinking that's why the hippo was waiting there.
Rubbish. Rubbish.
It's not rubbish though.
But no, maybe there was an accident in a circus with a midget and a hippo in. But at no point was this hippo waiting to go on, going, come on. The midget flew off at hypotenuse and landed in the hippo's mouth and was swallowed whole. This is what you embellish it. That is great. And what's
I
that?
have to say though, Rick, when I heard midget trampoline hippopotamus, I was thinking actually waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean,
it is that you should never put those three together.
Never.
It's a recipe for disaster. Everyone knows that. Midget trampoline hippopotamus. Are you mental?
You're asking for trouble. Well,
you know when he told me it, he said, and the midget, he didn't mention the hippopotamus, and he said the midget went on, and soon he fell off, and the hippo ate him. And I said, sorry, what was the hippo doing there? He went, it's a circus.